Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We have subscribers now. I saw we have two whole subscribers. Very nice. Very amazing. Thank you. Both Haunt and it's Haunt in second place, right behind Koyo, who actually got the first sub right
Beat him to
there.
the punch.
Beat you to the punch. Amazing. We got Ortho Chat again tonight. Usually this will be on Saturday, but he's a jet-setting fellow, so he wasn't going to be in one place on Saturday. I think he's in like 7 countries on Saturday. He's meant for the air.
Whether it's Howling Mutant catapulting me into the Atlantic or me flying over it for a ridiculously priced jet ticket, it's one or the other.
I did finally get Mutant to respond to one of my tweets, and it was an intentionally shitty joke. Of course, that's the one that he responds to. It was so stupid.
All right, so
have you got your Space Marining ready? I've been holding off. I have not played Space Marine. I am exactly where we left off because I didn't want to
look.
I knew if I started playing, I was going to over-level.
I was playing it, and something you don't know about Greeks is that we are all genetically metrosexual.
Oh.
So we're born to be interior designers. So I think I've spent as much time playing as I have been messing around with making all of my classes armor different. And now it's all colorful, and
very
it's going
nice.
to be. It's not going to be the rainbow you're thinking of fighting the enemies of humanity, but it's going to be a rainbow fighting the enemies of humanity. But it's mine.
I gotcha. See, I always stick with the white marble and gold. That's my jam. White marble, gold trim. I love it. White marble, gold trim, and it's very powerful. I like a good white powered suit of armor, and it does a good job of it.
Oh man, I gotta tell you. I mean, I'll tell you more about it later, but I'll tell you the one time because see, just like I said with my Space Marine armor, I do that with all of my firearms too. There's not a single one that isn't. They're all painted in insane
stuff.
God. I have the biggest, ugliest pink Yugoslavian AK-47 that you have ever seen in your life. It weighs 40 pounds.
I guarantee you I've seen an uglier AK. Are you aware with Bato from the 3D printed gun community? He's a VTuber who was very famously poor. That son of a bitch has got the ugliest AK, intentionally. The ugliest, most slapped together AK in the history of the Kalashnikov, I believe. That dude, if you haven't seen it, scroll through his account for about 10 minutes. I guarantee you he's posted it 10 times in the last month. And yeah.
I gotta say, yeah, no, mine is pink with black crosses all over it, kind of emblematic of like, you ever see because so in the Orthodox Church there's this one of the oldest styles for our priest vestments is it's called the polistavrio, which it's like, imagine a pattern where it's like, say for example, it's gold, but it's like white crosses on a gold background, but it also looks like it's gold crosses on a white background, so they alternate.
Sure,
and I thought my Cerakote was gonna come up because I rent out a guy's oven, and I like to do it myself because I wanted to learn when I was younger, and I was like, okay, my dad bought me an AK for my first gun, and so my logic was, let me try to make like a cool like royal Byzantine purple, like and it comes out basically pink, and I was like, oh, you gotta be effing kidding me. I was like, dude, I was so pissed. But it's got like a big like RPK bulge trunnion receiver, and it's got like I put a gigantic like full steel like it's a Zastava, so they came out with this proprietary Archangel what's it called, barrel cover, and I put like a big loud muzzle brake on it. It's the most annoying range gun in the world. And what you were
Spectacular.
saying about the marble, I remember this one time. So I picked up a 1911,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was like, man, I love the way that like black crackle looks, like how it interacts with the marble, right? And so what I did was I ended up doing black with like, where you know how the black on a white marble kind of looks like it has like lightning crackle going through it and it
Sure.
like
Yeah.
moves through it. So I did that, but it's gold crackle on black. And I was like, man, how do I make this even cooler? And I got like these Russian Orthodox cross 1911 grips off eBay. And in the Orthodox Church, if you want something blessed, the procedure for it, and it's usually icons, it's usually like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
relics or whatever. You go to a priest and you tell him put it under the altar for 40 days, and then they give it back to you. So I
Okay.
went up to my priest, who's moved now. This was 10 years ago, and I told him, hey, can you bless my gun real quick? And I put them on. He was like, oh my god, this is so cool. He was just like, don't tell no one. And I was like, I was like, yeah, sure. So
Good evening,
I
Ben.
have the whole, because now I'm not riding dirty. I'm riding holy with the ortho gat. That's what we got. I'm the ortho chat with the ortho gat. That's what it looks like. And yeah, I got like a big shotgun with Oh Lord, I got a shotgun with like grape leaves on like a white marble, and
Okay.
I got oh, what else do I got? I got like a suppressed 300 blackout with like a matte black on
Nice.
gloss black, that alternating cross pattern. It's real sweet. But yeah, I picked up a whole bunch of stuff when I was young, dumb, and didn't know how to save money naturally. But
Of
let me
course.
see. Okay, this is the invite menu. Okay, let me see.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Well, if you say it on stream, then we'll have whoever wants to come. We'll just be there. So
Of course,
yes.
naturally.
Okay.
Um,
And I'm realizing I don't have audio again, and that's
Somebody
very
called me a
upsetting.
Yugo pleb.
Well,
Hey, listen, those extended handguards ain't no joke, buddy. They're, I like having room to move, and I like big, long standoff weapons, and I mean, oh my God, that's not even concerning my carry. My carry is like, are you a gun guy, antagonist? I don't know if we've ever talked about this.
I should be more of a gun guy than I am, actually. Like,
Okay.
I'm a very boring gun guy
Yeah.
who does not gun enough, nearly,
Mhm.
is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And oh, oh no, oh no. Okay, so as far as gun stuff goes, I went with all the boring stuff.
Right.
I have guns that I built that
Okay.
are mine, and they're nobody's goddamn business. And then there's a couple of like normal guy guns. Um, I've got just a bunch of ARs. I keep meaning to buy my wife a Romanian AK because that's funny to me, and it would flip her mother out a little bit just because, like, what? Why does she? But I gotta. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm an AR guy. It's an AR household for the most part, and then some
Of
a
course.
couple of Glocks because that's what the cops carry.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so there was a guy one time who was like, it would be best if anything ever happens, and the cops have to pick up your gun for evidence.
Yeah.
It's really helpful if when they say, well, what the hell were you carrying this for? You can say, well, officer, it's what you carry, and so that's what I got. And they kind of,
Yeah, and that's so weird, isn't it? It's like with
yeah,
like the public perception around, because like mine is I have a CZ PO1 Omega, and I was lucky enough to pick one up before they stopped making them, and I loved the
okay,
idea of it. I was like, kind of like a semi-compact, full metal. And dude, okay, this thing's painted crazy. It's like it's the same camouflage pattern. Everything's Cerakoted. I never spray paint anything, but this thing is patterned in the same camouflage that the Greek military has their pukamisia, their BDUs. They have their BDUs, the same camouflage. It's called Tiger Stripe. So, and and I got like blue G10 lock grips on it. I put the Cajun Gunworks internals package into it. I put like a little Olight RMR. No, it's a Holosun RMR. I'm sorry. And so yeah, I mean it looks great. It's pretty, but it's like I remember back when I was working in gun stores and kind of doing like private gun repair when I was younger. That was the way I made my money. I always heard these conversations about the lawfare that happens when somebody's carrying like G2 RIP rounds, or somebody has like a Punisher skull like painted on their gun, and how that is like that in some cases is like the life or death decision between somebody getting prosecuted into a sentence or walking home, and I'm like, dude,
that's bananas.
You're at the mercy of idiots. Like, I mean, if I
incredible idiots. Like, not. If I were. Okay, did you kill this guy because you wanted to look cool? No, I killed him because he needed killing. What do you mean? Like he demanded that he be slain. That's why he didn't make it. Fucking, no, I didn't kill him to look cool. It's very difficult to kill somebody and look cool. That's not a thing that happens easily. It's really hard to do, and this ain't it. There would have been a lot more fireworks involved, but that doesn't go over well with a jury of diversity. That's just not gonna happen. Yeah. Okay, so Haunt in chat is correcting me specifically. You can't intend to kill. You have to shoot to stop them. Yes, I know. And let's face it, fellas, whatever they eventually pick me up for, I'm not getting out of it. It doesn't matter what it is. They're gonna be like, oh my goodness, how could you, about whatever the fuck, and they're gonna light me on fire. So I'm not, at this point, I am less concerned with making a good excuse, I think. But
well, okay, first of all, Haunt, you are 1,000% correct.
Oh yeah, you're totally right.
The Omega is horrific to work on. Putting in that putting in the Cajun package was one of the most difficult things I've ever done as a gunsmith. It's annoying. I do like it though, because I did want a full metal carry with a manual safety on it, just because there's kids in and out of the house, and God forbid, like split second whatever. But my logic here is like, okay, so I used to do like local competitive skeet shooting. I used to do trap shooting when I was young, and my grandfather gifted me 2 beautiful Benelli Montefeltros, like old style, like when they were still getting made in the HK factories. And like I've been hunting with these things. I worked with them at the range, and I was like, and dude, they're beautiful. But if somebody came to, but if I got called up to the stand in a murder case or something like that, and they looked at me and they said, oh, well, like if it was versus me getting shot with like a red blood splatter paint pattern, like 22 with a suppressor and like an extended magazine or whatever, or between like a wood furniture Benelli shotgun that looks like, oh, look, the Indians used it, look how wholesome Chungus it is. Dude, I'm getting shot by the scary looking one. I had to break it to you. You know what I mean? It's like, this is no competition for me.
Well,
I don't want to get shot by anything.
No,
but,
of course not. Of course not. But like there was some discussion, I guess last week, maybe the week before, on Twitter about like, oh, you're supposed to, all these less lethal carry options, and and I understand when there's. I had a guy in my chat the other day who, he lives in a place that literally nothing is legal, right? Like they're just, if you're a machete carrying type, you're fine, and if you're not, then they'll any kind of defending yourself you ever do is going to land you in prison. And I just, other than that, you should never, ever, ever use any kind of less lethal anything. It's a terrible idea because, for one, like most of the discussion centered around, people being like, well, I don't want to hurt somebody. I just want to scare them off. And it's like, well, that you're going to die, first of all. We're just going to open with you're dead. You're very, very dead. But because the thing is, I am not going to wait to discover that yours is less lethal. I'm not doing that. I'm going to see you reach for anything that looks like it has a pistol grip at all. And then I am going to scream really loud and empty whatever mag I've got at you.
Oh, dude, I carry FMJ too. I don't even take a risk with if somebody has a jean jacket or something. But you know what's scary for me? It's I remember seeing videos on TikTok of these Jubilee and these social experimenters that are all funded by NGOs, obviously.
Sure.
Talking to mothers, for example. I remember seeing this maybe a year and a half ago about these mothers oh, would you kill somebody for your kid? And you see these insufferable witches. You see their
yes.
pork chungus pizza faces going, kill for my kids? I don't know.
Yeah, I remember this.
I wouldn't do that. I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you?
Well, here, no. I got. This is really simple. I think definitions go both ways. If they're your kids, you would kill for them. If they are not, if you wouldn't kill for them, they're not your kids. They don't belong to you. They are somebody's kids, but they ain't yours. And this is one of those one of those ownership concepts that people have a terrible time with, and they should, because it's awful. But the reality is, if you don't take care of what's yours, it stops being yours, right?
Yeah, I agree.
When I'm talking, when I'm referring to women as the most cherished property, if you don't take care of them, it's very easy to see what happens. And that's not a threat. That is no, of course. And this is what should happen. That's abandoned property. Somebody's going to pick that up. Somebody's a salvage king out there. So, what did you think was going to occur? It's not even... If I have a boat and I just leave it in the water and I don't ever do anything with the boat, somebody is going to drive that boat. Yeah. That's just what it is. So, I think parents, and particularly the NGO women that you're referring to, really specifically, man, oh man, they have abandoned their children for sure. Those are not their children anymore. At the very least, they've sacrificed them to the state. But
exactly,
I mean, they're on the verge of if they could find a statue of Moloch, they would have handed them over. And many of them, without exaggeration, the idea
they won't ask for much in return either.
No. Well, just the opportunity to venerate evil. Honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. We got a dreadnought on the loose, boys.
We got this big boy.
So, the idea of abortion being a specific sacrament to Satan is,
of course it is.
They really do. That's not an exaggeration. That's not a thing where it's a turn of phrase. I'm not making a turn of it's not a flourish. I think exactly. I think it's exactly
it is
that.
Precisely that. And it's just because sacrament transcends the concept of visible religious structure doesn't make it any less of a sacrament, particularly to Satan. Because in the way of Christ, there is a way to do things, and the way that he's ordained to do things has existed verbally from the time of the Jews, and then when Christ came, we've translated that into the life of the church. But again, kind of emblematic of what we were talking about the last time we were on here. as like the witches, people who practice witch. It's not that it works, and it's not that Satan particularly cares. It's just the fact that you're giving yourselves and others over to his shit. And so, I've told you about the nephew of Emperor Constantine and how he's pretty much the premise of all modern magic. Have I told you this?
I don't think so, actually. You may have.
Okay.
I bet you mentioned a name, and my brain just filed it under name, non-generic, and did not properly attribute it.
Mm-hmm. So Emperor Constantine, if there's anything to be known about him, was we give him a very particular title in the church, that being equal to the apostles, which means a couple things. It's an honorific title commenting on his sense of holiness. It is a testament to his life and how his actions have spread the church in his lifetime. And Emperor Constantine, a lot of people talk about him even in non-Christian circles as, he changed Christianity, or he was the one that
he's a big deal.
Popularized it in the Roman Empire. He was the imperial seat of the First Ecumenical Council. All this stuff.
Is there anyone who insists that he was not a big deal somehow? That seems insane.
The Roman Catholic Church, they don't like him.
Okay, well then really... I don't think they have to like him, but I'm sure they at least have to say like he's a big deal. He might be a big deal they don't get along with, but like it's Constantine.
The Roman Catholics are a little interesting. Yes, they share 1,000 years of tradition with us functionally. Now, was there some funk before? Was there some funk prior to, and some connection after the Great Schism? Absolutely, there was. But but they have taken a particular focus to everybody that happened after the schism. You don't hear Catholics talking a lot about Saint Photios. Well, not Saint Photios. You don't hear a lot of Catholics talking about Saint Basil constantly, Saint John Chrysostom. You don't hear them talking about Maximus the Confessor. Maybe in the heavier theological circles you will, but these are the men that formed the epistemic foundation of Christianity, period. Not necessarily, well, these are Orthodox, these are whatever.
Sure.
And they sacrifice this for things that are distinctly theirs, like Thomas Aquinas, thinkers not even thinkers, but like St. Maximilian Kolbe, guys that are post-schism exclusively theirs and are kind of emblematic of the new Catholic tradition that existed after we separated from them.
Okay.
And now, but in any case, Constantine, there's not words to describe how impactful he was, and when he passed away, his nephew ended up taking the throne. And if you ever hear somebody talk about Julian the Apostate, that's who that is.
Oh, okay. No, you did say Julian the Apostate. You've mentioned this person. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I think I mentioned this last time, but if there's somebody, I think I said this exact thing. If there's somebody that is bemoaned and made fun of more than Judas Iscariot in even the official prayers of the church, it's him. And so now the thing to understand about magic, Maiga, Hudan, whatever iteration you want to understand it has never, the warlocks and the magic practitioners never particularly had the luxury of having a super organized system for themselves. The Africans had voodoo. A lot of the runic magic was happening in Northern Europe. There was these 1,000 iterations, and again, Satan was working through their cultures to kind of, Satan was involved. There were great thinkers that were trying to make sense of life, like the Greek philosophers, the African tribesmen, stuff like that, stuff happening in South America, and there's some commonality themes that kind of exist throughout. Those. They understand that the spirit exists in the blood. They understand that because precisely and in a more complicated way, the greatest Christian thinkers will tell you, where is the soul in your body? Because a lot of people think it's this little glowy orb that sits inside of your chest.
Sure.
It's a part of you as much as anything else is a part of you, but it literally exists in your blood. And,
it's throughout.
Yeah, it's throughout your entire being. And, you know, and I ask my spiritual father about this sometimes. It's like, well, why are we not more Mormon about blood transfusions? And he's like, well, maybe we should be.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And it's like, well, what do we think about organ transplants? It is universal through the Orthodox Church that they're like, never put yourself down on the donor list.
Because, right. No, of course not. That would be ridiculous.
And yeah, so and I mean, you know, there's like some unexplainable stuff that happens. It's like, well, you know, you see people who have had organ transplants, specifically heart transplants, inheriting the memory of the people they received that from. And same thing with people with pig hearts, how they change into fundamentally worse people. And it makes you ask, it's like, you know, why have cultures universally understood the organ of the heart to be the centerpiece of personality? Why is that where the nous lives, the noetic like structure? So anyway, these cultures never had a structured system of magic ritual. You know, they were all summoning demons in their own way. They were all practicing quote-unquote black, quote-unquote white magic in their own forms, their rituals, their sacraments. And now, you know, but what really got popular after, you know, it was kind of around the time of Christ, kind of during the Hellenization of the Roman Empire, so on and so forth, was Plato's epistemology about the world, and the formation of that epistemology around a religious structure. And there was
bought in Twitch chat, please nuke.
Oh wait, what happened?
Just first time chatter. Oh, with go to streammyballs.com or whatever.
Streammyballs.com.
Yeah, whatever it is. Shenanigans.com. Whatever.
Yeah.
Death to spammers always.
Death to spammers. So, you know, you gotta imagine, like, the ritual at the time. Like, Christianity has become the official religion of the Roman Empire. You know, this is coming off of the tilt of the Diocletian persecution. So, you know, everybody's around celebrating. It's like, oh, we're not gonna get eaten by lions anymore.
Right.
Which, frankly, it's one of the reasons why I think one of the most evil Roman emperors is Marcus Aurelius. I actually have a particular disdain for him, because the reason the Romans were killing Christians is because, for any decent historian of Roman history will understand why the Romans killed Christians. It's not because they were Christians, it's not because they worshipped a different god, because they used to just go inside of the pagan tribes, and they were like, okay, what do you worship? Odin, Thor, like Mjolnir, fucking whatever.
You got a who now? Oh, okay. What are they like? Oh, that sounds an awful lot like fucking this guy. Yeah, all right, we're fine.
Here's the thing. They wouldn't even ask. They were like, I don't give a fuck. Throw them into our pantheon. Well, yeah, if you fund the temple to them, we'll make it. Who cares?
Right. Yeah. The Genghis Khan method was very effective. The Genghis Khan method. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So.
Precisely.
Here we go. We're going down the tube.
Down the tube.
Down the tube. But I think we've never been able to, like, pin down where consciousness resides. Never mind the soul, right? Like, because consciousness is difficult enough, right? Like, we don't need that would be enough work for our entire scientific apparatus to try and pin down exactly where consciousness resides. Is it in the brain? Yes. Asterisk. It's not just in the brain. It's in these other places too. Oh, there's also this thing over here. And when you, when you have organ transplants, there have been. And, like, blood transfusions, I don't know if that would, I wonder, actually, what the threshold is. And I have an inkling that the degree to which your personality changes may very well have to do with just neuron density. Like, obviously, and I used this recently, but like, obviously, if you got a brain transplant, everybody would fully expect, even the most lay of laymen would completely expect, oh, well, yeah, of course, you're going to be totally different. They changed your brain. There's a brain transplant. And nobody would think that's weird. But like, people still treat a lot of the, when you're talking about the personality changes that occur after organ transplants, people still talk about it like it's tinfoil territory. But like the idea, like the base concept is obviously correct, right? And there's, okay, well, what about if it was my hands? What if I had to get a hand transplant? Is that going to be more or less personality change than if I got a kidney? So I think, seems to me, like hands would be worse than a kidney, And I couldn't figure out why at first, but I bet you that's it. Not to mention, like, whatever else may be going on. I wouldn't even say that the soul resides in the blood so much as that it rides in the blood, right? Like it would the blood as a conduit for soul makes perfect sense, but I don't know if I would say that the blood could contain the soul. I don't think that's necessarily accurate. So I don't know, but
whatever the stack of it might be, I kind of said this last time. It's like, you are you, and it's always like, and that's always the thing I want to, emphasize to people. I would say particularly the brain, that for me, that I understand the brain as a locomotive and a locomotive and not adapter, what's the word? Accenting functionality of the heart. The heart being where the personality resides. It's something that over time, you may see, okay, well, this is you, and then like, these mental like abnormalities, deformations, like adjustments, reside within you through the presence of the brain. Those two things kind of come together to make you what you are within time, right? With the most base form of you being, the heart, the blood, the places where the noetic spiritual personality, breath of the Holy Spirit, however you want to parse it out. But the idea behind the heart and blood being the center point of the self was very important for the pagan mystics.
Well, I think for everybody, probably. I mean, everybody knew that.
Yeah, on a utilitarian level, I mean, particularly because when you hear about the stuff like, okay, child sacrifice, like what exactly is it about the adrenochrome conversation? It's like, okay, well, blood, like that's certainly a thing. Why aren't they extracting plasma? Why aren't they extracting spinal fluid? Why are they not extracting saliva, urine, whatever it is? It's like, what is it about this particular life-giving and life-sustaining, because, if the fountain of youth was just like, I don't know, like kidnap kids pissing in a jar, like, I feel like the DOJ would have a much smaller problem with this, let alone QAnon. But
yeah, right.
So the idea here is with, you always see the human sacrifice happening with, so anyway, with the Roman conversation, it's like that's the other thing. They despised human sacrifice, the Romans. This was culturally a thing of theirs. They didn't mind hedonism. They didn't mind, sexuality expressed, stuff within the realm of, stuff now that we would find maybe, socially taboo, but one thing that they universally formed around their society was that cultures that practice human sacrifice were lower than dirt and completely uncivilized. And when Christianity,
that's probably a good metric. If you were just going to pick only one, that's probably a good one to do.
Indeed, and it's like, and this became a problem when the empire was expanding because, again, we religion, the spiritual world, whether you're talking about Christianity itself, whether you're talking about any spiritual beings, they ask for blood, and they understand the manipulatable element of what blood is and how it can work within other people. So, you know, again, like, you know, they had problems when they went to war with the Ostrogoths. They had problems when they went to war with the Carthaginians, and you know, when Paul and the apostles started spreading around the empire and Christianity got more popular, you know, for 300 years prior to its legalization by Constantine, the Romans kind of approached the Christians and they were like, oh, okay, well, what do you guys do? And it's like, well, we eat our God. Our God became man and we eat him once a week. We're like, yeah, and everyone's like,
well, you can't do that.
Yeah, and they're like, huh, that's interesting. Well, I mean, there must be a lot of him to eat, which was actually a very important conversation with Luther, but it's like so in the weeds. Like how much of Christ is there to eat? That's a very real controversy that split up churches forever. But
okay, why would there be a limited amount? What? Ooh,
well, because we partake of the body of Christ, right? Because so, you know, to say here's the epistemic kind of problem with it, and I'll try to make it quick. It's like so Luther and Zwingli had this conversation of, do we believe in the real presence of the Eucharist? Do we believe that what is in the communion chalice is the body and the blood of Jesus Christ? Because Christ said it was. He was like, this is my body which is broken for you for the remission of sins. Do this in remembrance of me. And this is my blood spilled for you. Do this in remembrance of me. He said this is.
Yeah.
And you know, it's the body of God, though. It's the body of Jesus Christ, like the one that was given birth by the Virgin Mary. And the conversation kind of comes down to, well, Zwingli was like, well, do we know how much of it there is? And he was like, well, you know, is there a point where we will do so many communions to where it can't be transubstantiated into the body and blood of God? And Luther was like, well, no matter what we do, is means is, and that just said, and then this is where the Protestant churches started to say, oh, well, that means that God has an infinite body, but it can't be infinite, because something infinite from an epistemic standpoint means it doesn't have shape or color or presence. But the body, but Jesus Christ has brown hair and brown eyes, and he has skin, and he was 5 foot something, and that's him. So the answer that we have to this is, well, remember when Jesus Christ was speaking to the masses and he gave that sermon and he had to feed the 5,000 people with the 2 fish and the 5 loaves?
Right.
We understand that by some mechanism, Jesus Christ has this ability to replicate matter in time without creating something new and identifiable on its own, and the importance of new and identifiable, distinct from its original blueprint on its own. And you know, the thing is when we participate in the divine liturgy, like when we go to a church service, we don't say, well, this is the new moment. Like we always say in the liturgy, it's a lot in Greek, like now, like it's like this is the appropriate time. This is the right time for us to.
Sure. Yeah.
The reason we say that is because we don't believe that we are doing a new service. We believe that
it's
every
the
single
same
time.
one. Yeah, it is the service.
We are entering. No. We're entering into a new dimension, a new place in space-time where we are participating, which is crude words for it, but it's like we're entering into this moment in the upper room, like when Jesus Christ was eating with the apostles at the Last Supper, and it's that moment continued on up until the last divine liturgy is ever celebrated, and we're entering into this eternally occurring space that we move into when we enter into the church. That's occurring in like this bubble. Super odd.
Yeah, that's kind of that's what I meant by like the moment. That there would be a singular, like a singularity moment, right? That where an infinite and where an infinite being would be localized, right?
Yes.
There could be no more of a singularity than that. That would be just nonsense to think of a more singularity than that. Like
Exactly.
AI is cute and all, but it's not infinite. You could perceivably there could be a way, and I don't know the method, but there could be a method by which you didn't mean to do that, by which you could have a super intelligent AI that's still much less abundant than an actually infinite existence.
Yeah.
Which should be obvious to anybody.
And so the answer to this is like, well, how much of Jesus Christ's body is there to be partaken of inside of the liturgy? The answer is like, well, how much fish is there, and how many loaves of bread are there to feed the people?
Right.
It's when Jesus Christ stops feeding them. So the idea is like when the last divine liturgy happens prior to God coming back, whenever the last liturgy is celebrated, that's when it runs out. And again, there's this foreknowledge that the future is set in stone in this way, where it's like God knows everything that's going to happen in the future, how long it's going to happen. So he knows when it's like, okay, this is it, time for things to.
And I had mentioned this on Twitter that like that's not even that difficult of a thing to do for something that exists outside of time. This is actually a concept I learned. I learned this concept in the two most ridiculous places you could imagine. One is actually from Warhammer 40k, the idea of a locale outside of time completely, like a place that is not a place.
That's what we think happens when we go to church, exactly.
Okay, so, and even so, making the distinction of the physicality is almost redundant in this.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to. It's fine. An unplace is perfectly acceptable because there are things that are, and then there are things that are not. And it's fine if an are not thing is specific. Like it doesn't need to be more than that. So anyway, the other place that I learned this, there was a Star Trek. Ow! Okay, well, I got rocked. I'm down on the platform. There was a Star Trek novel that involved Q, where the idea was that time was ending, but the way that time and space actually end, of course, if you're talking about collapsing physical space, the relative space seems exactly the same because you're inside that space, right? If everything is collapsing at the same time, you would have no experience of that, right? Because you're inside it. You are also collapsing at the same rate and at the same time as all this other stuff, right? So the measurements, like the distance, the relative distance from wherever you might be to wherever the end of the universe is, still seems exactly the same to you, Yes. Oh, I need to keep flipping that. Okay, we need to flip the tracks. So, between that and the idea of the immaterium in Warhammer 40k, right? So the idea with, there we go. The warp, where the demons all come from, right? The idea with 40k demons is that there is this thing, this very serious and specific nothing, right? And it's the warp. And if you have a soul, whatever you think or feel is going to be reflected in that nothingness, in that unthing, right? And so it's not logical. It doesn't have rules necessarily, because rules are the kind of thing that something has, and this isn't something. This is nothing. Well, the way that you get around in the Warhammer 40k universe, if you wanted to get, a place that is 20 light years away, well, you could travel conventionally, and it's going to take you at best 20 years to get there. But gosh, if you need to get there like now, what you can do is they figured out how to make an engine that will drop you out of reality and into this unreality, right? And did you ever see the movie Event Horizon?
Oh, maybe a long time ago. I don't remember.
Okay, so that was a stealth Warhammer 40k movie because the method by which the Event Horizon ship instantly traveled across the solar system. That was by, you're going into this subspace, this unspace, this warp space.
Right.
And, while they were there, bad shit happened, and nobody could really understand what, right? Like, that was the thing. Well, so what happens is, the closer you get to this unreality, why won't this move? It doesn't want to move. Okay, well, the closer you get to this unreality, the more your feelings and thoughts and a flight of fancy affect the reality that you're experiencing, right? If the rules of the real world are breaking down, then a stray thought might be real after all, and there's not anything how would you know the difference?
Oh, yeah, isn't that how the orcs work? It's like whatever they like, if like painting a thing red makes it go faster, the thing will just go faster.
Okay, so what that is, all right, so all living things that have any kind of soul are reflected in the warp, right? And so for the orcs, who were actually in lost to time immemorial, they were weapons of war created to last forever and never be defeated, and so they love war. The orcs are having a great time. Everybody else is fighting for their lives, and the orcs are fighting to fight.
A good time too.
Who? Well, so I actually, if any of, I'm very reticent to actually talk too much about some of these things, because I have felt a disturbing truth in particularly bullshit about Nurgle before, because the idea of the Chaos Gods, the 4 Chaos Gods, are that there are these chief concepts that are more real to humans than anything else, and because of that, they became more real in this unreal space, right? Sure. So, and the idea of Nurgle is decay, and when you think of decay, you just think of rot, and that's how it's always portrayed. And you would have seen like depictions of these monsters that are rotting, and they have boils and all this. They're obviously very sick, and he's the plague father and all this kind of thing. Yeah. But the actual, here's the thing about rot. Rot is also fertility. It's new life. And
he thinks he's spreading a gift. I've heard this before.
But he is spreading a gift, is the thing. It's not that he's confused. It's that he's telling you, no, this is a gift, because now you can finally let go. Now you can relax, and that is a gift, because you've been trying so hard. He's the opposite of the well-laid plan, right? Like, there's another Chaos God that he is at odds with, Tzeentch, who's the god of schemes and magic and all this kind of stuff, right? And they hate each other, and they will forever and ever fight one another. Well, because...
So the Chaos God's forces will actually fight against each other?
Oh, yeah, of course. No, they are opposing forces, right? They are not... The reason that you may have seen the Chaos Vortex emblem before, right? It's this 8-pointed star. Yes. The reason that these
that is incidentally, not on purpose, the logo for my clothing brand.
Okay, well, in Warhammer 40K, the reason that the emblem of chaos is the 8-pointed star is that they are all facing away from one another. They are not helping each other. They are opposing forces. And like Nurgle and Tzeentch, they are cardinally opposing forces. They're east and west. Now, there's also Slaanesh and Khorne. Slaanesh is the god of excess and secrets, right? Slaanesh is everything taken too far. Okay, Slaanesh is also the pursuit of perfection. Which sounds like that would be a good thing. And it would be, except for the part where you're like, no, you can't actually be perfect. It's impossible. That's not what humans do. And so, or anyone else who's alive, right? That's not what happened. Asterisk. I only recently learned that the idea of Jesus having conquered death, my entire life I grew up with the idea. Nobody had ever actually explained that like the resurrection was a permanent thing, right? They had only ever been like, yes, and then on the third day he was resurrected. It's like, okay, and then what happened? And then it's like, well, and then he left, and it was like, okay, well, and what, and nobody.
This is a fun conversation.
Nobody ever like went for it. So anyway, the reason that I stopped to like sideways on that is that I understand that Jesus would be the perfect man, right? So, but barring that, mankind doesn't. That's not a thing that we've got. We don't have perfection.
Yeah.
So if
even in our pursuit to be like Christ, it's understood that it is a ontological impossibility that we can't reach perfection, even if we are temporally sinless, and that's happened a couple times.
Right. Well, because there's always more you should have done. Actually,
It's because we're tainted from the sin we were born with.
That's sure. Sure. And
there is always more we could have done. Sure.
Yeah. I choose to take that point of view because if I don't, I do very easily fall to the temptations of Nurgle to say, oh no, I've done more than anyone else and that's plenty. Well, no. Because one of those statements must not be true, right?
Yeah.
Either I have not done more than everyone else, or if I am a man who is capable of doing more than anyone else, then it's definitely not enough that I stop now.
Right.
Then I have that power because it is necessary, and for me to slow down, stop, or give up is dooming everyone else to some lower standard, right? So if I want to take a humble route or an incredibly self-centered route, either way, nowhere in there am I allowed to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean.
The idea with Nurgle, here's the actually with all the Chaos Gods, right? That the common depictions are of the downside, right? Which implies that there would be an upside. So the idea when I was talking about with Nurgle, rot is fertility. Rot is new life. If one thing dies, it births, 10 million others. And of course it does. And we all know that. In the Eldar pantheon in 40K, their fertility goddess, Isha, it is that during the fall of the Eldar, their gods were all slain or captured or shattered. And with the Eldar, Isha was captured by Nurgle, right? So you have the goddess of fertility, their mother goddess, who loves them very much, and she was captured by grandfather Nurgle of rot and decay. The thing that they don't mention but once somewhere, and I forget where, is that she did fall in love with him later. As his captive. She is in his garden forever.
Stockholm syndrome.
And he tests his most virulent plagues on her. He gives her his most powerful gifts, and she, of course, withstands it. She's a goddess of life, right? But if you then step back and look at this explanation archetypally, this is entirely correct and accurate. All fertility goddesses are also goddesses of disease and rot, because nothing can rot if it was never born. So these are two sides of the same coin. And this is actually, that thought was what was the first thought that led me to think that there might have been accidentally, in the mad ravings of Warhammer canon writers, they may have told more truth than they thought they were going to, and not in a way where it's like these names matter or that something takes this particular form or anything like that. That's silly.
It's archetypes, yeah.
But that this is exactly the archetype. And like if you go back and you read the very first mention of the demon god Slaanesh, in its very first write-up, and it was in like the 80s, there's this article, okay? And it is essentially the Trans Manifesto. And since then, Mega Satan says, "Get saved, Christ loves you." I'm aware. doing what I can, buddy. Doing what I can. So, there's this write-up in like the mid to late 80s. And
I like how Mega Satan said get saved.
Yeah, and it was essentially the Tranifesto, as Ben puts it, that you have this this subversive neither man nor woman but both, who will always do its best to seduce you somehow and take you away from what you should be doing and to what you want to be doing instead, right?
That sounds like going to a bar in Cleveland last weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know. So I think I have a strong concern. The reason when I talk about like real life demon stuff, and I talk about it in terms of like someone being possessed by an idea or a concept.
Yeah.
This is kind of what I'm talking about, where whether it's we have a mini boss.
Oh, we'll grab him.
Yeah.
1 second, I'll tell you. Oh wow, he's already out.
Nice. Get his ass. Oh, the sniper bot is fucking him up. Okay. That's pretty cool.
There we go. Come on. You're gonna be done with that in a second here, right? Is he gonna head out? There we go.
Get wrecked.
Get wrecked.
So, even just the turn of phrase, to be possessed by an idea, like everyone's heard that. And so I think it's probably there's like a density of wrong idea that can do that and is probably best navigated as a demon, like the way that you would think of a demon and the way that you would
DEAMON.
Right. That you should treat these sort of virulent, contagious ideas that can possess people the way that you would imagine dealing with that.
Well, that's a really cool verse from the Bible, because Christ pretty much says this exactly. He said, I love this because I use it so often.
Okay.
He said, the eye is the lamp of the body. If the eye is filled with light, then so shall the whole body. But if the eye is filled with darkness, oh, how great is that darkness?
Yep.
So like,
yeah.
So like, you know, it's like the like it's pretty much like an immediate recognition that the intake, any epistemological intake, is pretty much affected not on, you know, your mind or, you know, your psychology as well, but like on the whole of your being, like what makes you you. It's something that changes you.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like whatever you absorb, whatever medium, whatever, it's a reformation of the person depending on what you, and this is like kind of the entire basis of like the goal of our religion being theosis, because like, you know, you've heard of apokatasosis or
I have not heard that.
Like,
come on.
Well,
where would I have heard that?
Well, like apotheosis, right?
Yes.
It's like, you know, there's concepts like this. It's like our idea is theosis. This is the goal of our existence, to become like God. Because Adam and Eve were always going to eat that apple eventually. They just had to hold off.
Right.
That, like, God would have told them to eat it at some point. It's just they did it when they weren't supposed to. They didn't wait. They weren't. They really were not ready for it. And if they would have waited, then Jesus Christ would have been born out of Eve instead of Mary, which was always the original plan. Because you got to ask yourself, it's like, why did God become man? It's like, and some people are like, well, you know, to save humanity from their sins. And it's like, yeah, that's true, but like,
which they only had because, you know.
Well, sure, but what I'm saying is like, yes, this was always true that Jesus Christ was going to become man, and when you approach people who aren't well versed in theology, I really hate saying stuff like that because I hate acting like I'm that smart. I'm really not. But like, you know, when people are less versed in theology, they'll be like, oh well, you know, Jesus Christ always had to save people from their sins. Well, no, he didn't. He came, that him dying and resurrecting for the salvation of the world was a second order of effect of our mistake. But the original intention there is that God made us to be dynamic beings. We're the most dynamic beings in creation. And I think even, you know, just off simple observation, there is nothing like us on Earth. Like even and you know, God, I hate Jane Goodall so much because it's like, well, because you're dealing with people who it's like, oh, look, you know, rationality and consciousness are like these relative concepts, and it's like the only sentence we've ever been able to get out of a gorilla is me eat orange, me like eat orange, give me orange, eat me orange, and it's like,
and not just the gorilla. I don't, you know, it's.
Yeah, well, and you know, and the idea here is just like, you know, we're dealing with we're essentially moral relativists trying to hide that facade behind science, and the reality of it is that God made us in His image and likeness. We're made in His image because we look like Him, and we're made in His likeness because we're theanthropy. Theos meaning God, and anthropos meaning man. We're God men. And so in saying this, you know, the idea is that the people are asking, why are we here? We are here out of love. We're here because God loves us, and He wanted to be loved. He wanted to be loved, and He desired to love something. And true love, because He loves His creation, but to be truly loved, to have a relationship, means that there's an element of optionality that exists there, right?
Sure.
And, you know, and the importance of free will is like, well, I mean, we could choose to be with the Lord, but, you know, we could also just choose not to. It's like, you know, like you've heard love is sacrifice before.
You do have to be able to fuck up to get anything right. It's not possible to just, it like, I spent way too long of my life when I was younger getting everything right the first time. And this gave me the idea that you can just always do that. And I don't mean like the idea that I thought it was that way, but just like everything sure seems like that's how it works. That I'm special, and so I can just do things right the first time regardless. Like, no, I understand.
The ontological immunity complex of youth. It's really fun, and I like having it too.
Well, but it wasn't just the immunity thing. It was that the other people who were around me who did suffer at the hands of their mistakes. I just didn't make mistakes, right? Like I saw the thing they were doing wrong, you know?
You should hear my prayers. I pray like a funny person, because I'll sit there on my knees in front of an icon of Christ, and I'm like, Lord, please don't let me suffer the consequences of my actions.
Yeah, right.
And He's hurt me so far.
Well, so, that's probably a good one. No, that's a good one to stick with.
Oh shit.
Mr. Mafia, I think you've got a great point, sir.
Let me see what Mr. Mafia
Well,
said.
just a little bit of rudeness in the chat, but it's a fun kind of rudeness. It's a rudeness I enjoy. But like, dear God, please don't let me suffer the consequences of my actions. That sounds like that's pretty valid. I bet. I should probably
I'll do something, and I'm like,
I'm
like shitting myself. I'm like, oh my God, like
I should not do that. Yeah.
And I'm like, Lord, help me. I'm retarded. I'm so retarded. I've seen people do the same thing, and it's ruined their lives.
See?
Lord, don't let my retardation catch up with me, please.
See? Oh, what the hell? Okay. I always, I don't know. The first thing I was ever told was that the Lord helps those who help themselves, and so
He does.
I was always on the like, oop, don't do that kind of grind for whenever I noticed that something was like definitely a bad idea, and I did seem to notice that when. I did seem to notice before anybody else I knew, whenever I was like, this is a bad idea, shouldn't do that. And then nobody else seemed to care. And so they would do it anyway, and then they would get got, and then I would not. Or I would have like a really good sense of like exactly how far I can push something before, like, now one more step and I'm cooked. So I gotta get out of this. And it wasn't like I was particularly well behaved. I was raised by a genuine, like, hardcore scammer, and I was right there scamming alongside him for a really long time. And just being able to, like, always, I'm not going to do this one thing. I'm going to do these 7 things, but not this one thing. And then, of course, that one thing is the thing that gets, everybody gets got.
Yeah, no, because, God asks you for the whole of yourself, and if you give him 99%, it's the 1% will destroy you. I learned that.
It's a very loud 1%, as it turns out.
I will say this, though. I really like when Christ, on Palm Sunday, said, let the little children come unto me, for such is the kingdom of heaven. I think he was talking about actual children, but I think Christ spoke in quadruple speak. I
sure.
always believe
Yeah.
And I think one of the important communications there for adults is that, like, we understand there's such a thing as bad kids. I mean, like, it doesn't take long to go to a part of America where there's not a 12-year-old running around with a Glock 19 doing something horrible, but it's like the idea here is like one thing that is particular to children and makes them very distinct from adults is sincerity. And I think that's something very easily lost upon adults as they get older, whether life bitters them out, or whether they get cynical, or whether, they have like this, this machinated ideal of themselves inside of their own head that causes them to be kind of devious and backwards and subversive. I think if somebody is able to rejuvenate or retain their sincerity into maturity, that is a spiritual and psychological boon that doesn't cost anything. You know what I mean? It's like, because people are like, oh, well, this is how you get over people. Well,
I don't think it's exactly true to say that it's got no cost. I think that achieving.
Oh no, it can cost you, but it's not like, you're not trading off with the suffering of other people for this advantage. It's like, you love. And that love extends to others, and the love grows within yourself out of that sincerity, because you're not looking to hurt anybody when it comes to sincerity. You're doing something. I mean, of course, there are sincere evil people who are doing. It's like, oh yeah, well I'm the kitten box burner. It's like, well, why do you do that? Well, because I think it's good to burn kittens in a box. It's like, well, yeah, he's sincere, but it's not good sincerity. Sincerity and
benevolence
are.
I would say that the sincere kitten box burner is better than an insincere kitten box burner. That's
maybe.
I think that's probably correct. I think it is better to be forthright about the awful shit you're doing, and it doesn't even have to be evil. It can just be awful. I don't know. Maybe those were wicked kittens, and I couldn't tell. But it's a possibility. I don't like that possibility, but I don't have to like every possibility.
I've done that with myself a lot. I am. Me and you have talked in private. Me and you talk on here, and I kind of do this thing where I wear my own, and I'm the kind of guy that wants to be an Orthodox priest one day. Like, and that is a hell of a fucking job, dude. Like, it is. You need to be like Christ, and but for me, I don't walk around. The one trap I've never really fallen into is the whole, oh, well, I'm going to act holier than thou. My speech is perfected. My clothes are clean in front of the sights of men. Nobody knows about what my bullshit is. But the thing with me is everybody knows my bullshit. And I'm just like, it's a part of who I am, working through it, whatever. But this is what good I can offer. And I will not hold it against anybody to point out the worst parts of me, because they are bad. But also, there is a partiality to how bad I am, and I feel like I could offer something to people through whatever talent Christ has given me to offer. That's my entire shtick, per se, right? Like, there is no like facade of cleanliness when it comes to me.
Okay. Yeah.
So. In a way, many people do the sincere kitten box burner. Is what I'm saying.
Sure. I think it's probably better to. I mean, it's nice to be able to. Here we go. It's useful to be able to clean up nice, right? Like I do have the option to clean up nice. I'm not forced to only that, and when I do, it is done with the obvious. I'm not pretending. When I do clean up nice, I'm not pretending that that's how I always am, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I will clean the house for company, but that's out of respect for the company. That's not to say that this is how my house always is. I mean, I say that. My wife is sitting next to me, and as soon as the delay catches up to her headphones, she's going to look at me like, what do you mean you clean the house? She cleans the house if there's company. But I mean, for most of my life, it was me. Now she cleans the house if there's company, and it is largely that way. But did she give it a little bit of an extra shine? Yes, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Good job as antagonist.
Yes. But company's my mother's coming over. So is she going to give the house an extra once over? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's not to try and hide something or to pretend to be something that we're not. That's because it should be nice, shouldn't it? Like, shouldn't we make it nicer than usual? And I think that's a lot of what people miss. It's easier, and God, there's just such bad communication in communities these days.
Yeah.
That even just from and honestly, I think from parent to child is the actual really bad communication.
Well, I was just gonna say, it's like, with me, when it comes to stuff like this, I don't throw on the Versace suit and the Versace suit and the Seiko when I go to weddings or present myself nice in business meetings, because I give a shit when listen. Here's my thing, and I'm really not trying to be like that. The girls I like me. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
I have food. I have food on my table at night. I get to go to sleep in a warm bed, safe from any ne'er-do-wells and vagabonds. I got enough toothpicks to clean the shit out of my teeth. God has been gracious to me as a sinner. That is the way I see it. And when I try to present myself nicer than usual, it's like, well, antithetical to much of my peers, just my age group. Like, I really love my parents. Like, I have a fantastic relationship with my family, and as pissed off as I get at my mom and dad sometimes, like the idea is like, well, when I go out in public, I'm a representation of whatever they've been doing with me for the past 20 years.
Oh, hey, Hans, that's not the spider's not on the camera, dude. That spider's just that big. That's how big that spider is. It's not sitting on the camera. It's just that it's a giant fucking driveway-sized spider, buddy. I hate to break it to you, but today's the day.
We got camel spiders where I live in Greece, and I love scaring the shit out of my sister with them.
Oh my God.
And they're usually really little this time. Oh, they're not even the scariest thing. We have these centipedes. No. They're these, but they're not. And we have the little really fast, gray and brown ones that are really quick across the floor. We have those, but we have gigantic. We have the giant because we're close to Africa. We have the giant African ones, where it's they're the big armored ones, and they don't go fast. They're really slow. And if you kind of yell at them, they'll look at you they'll turn around and look at you for a second.
I don't want them to turn around and look at me. What are you talking about?
They look at you if you yell at them.
No. I do not like gribblies. I am not a gribbly type guy.
That's weird about me, because I've wanted to be an Orthodox priest from the time I was 9 or 10 or whatever. My first job I ever wanted to do, I wanted to be an entomologist. I love bugs. I think they're so cute.
I do not like bugs.
They're like little aliens. They're like little.
Yeah, that's why I don't like them.
It's I remember. Oh Lord, I remember one time I woke up. Oh yeah, we have caterpillars there that are the size of baby dogs. We have
what?
Yeah,
baby dog. The word is puppy, isn't it? What is it? Is there an extra baby dog?
no, well, I know some that are slightly bigger than puppies. They're like these moth caterpillars that are huge down there. And I remember there is a service there. This is a way to make money where I live. The lizard ladies.
Lizard ladies?
If you call the lizard ladies, and this is because keep in mind, Greeks are a culture that love living abroad. So when families come back, when families come back for the summer, and it's like they usually have a house there or whatever, and they're getting ready to get it cleaned up because spiders get in, like there's crackheads whatever, like doing heroin in the front of the house because whatever. What the lizard ladies will do is
we have to defend the train. Here we go. Hang on.
Oh, we have to defend the train. So the lizard ladies, if you give them $500,
yeah,
$500, they're usually coming about packs of 3 or 4 of these lizard ladies. They'll come into your house. They'll find every large gecko, every spider, every tarantula, every scorpion, and they will put them in a box. At your request, they'll do whatever they want with them. They'll kill them. They'll put them in a box and they'll release them out into the wild, like in front of your house. And we usually pick to keep them in front of the house because we want the local hedgehog population to have something to eat. Because me and my mom are both animal crazy. Yeah, there's hedgehogs everywhere where I live in the front of my house. They carry leprosy, so you can't handle them with bare hands. If you do get the leprosy, you need to go to the hospital and get an antibiotic within a week, or you will be a biblical-style leper. This has happened.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No.
There was a whole thing about that, I thought. You're not supposed to do that.
So, yeah, we have, oh, Lord, we have...
Well, I wanted to be closer to Christ, and so I thought, he hung out with the lepers and everything, and so maybe if I did the leper thing, maybe... No, dude. That's not how it goes.
Well, so... No, the other thing is like you end up with like I end up with dead goats in front of my house with their stomachs exploded.
Oh.
Because the reason why is because we have natural marijuana growing in front of our house.
Oh no.
And nobody in my family's potheads. We don't and it grows on a separate property. Like we have no intention of drying it or whatever. So on and so forth. But it's there. It's like it's scattered throughout the mountain and. So what you'll see is, I remember we got this one goat. We named her Fuska, and that's Bubbles in Greek. That was my little goat Bubbles, and she was a baby, and we took care of her for a couple weeks. What ends up happening is we let her outside, and she's dead over there. And I'm like, what the hell killed this little goat? Goats have a particular digestive tract that is not too friendly with marijuana leaves. If a goat eats marijuana leaves, their stomach explodes. It's just what happens. It's just what happens. I have no idea why. So you gotta deal with those sometimes, which is ironic because a lot of the shepherds where I live are all drug addicts. A lot of them.
Yeah, that sounds like a shepherd thing to do.
They have their 60 or 70 goats. They make most of their money around church holidays because when people do like the big family gatherings for church holidays, everybody will go cook a goat together. And so in saying that, like they'll get 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 goats, and they take them across the mountain. They let them eat off the natural foliage.
Okay.
They don't care if they're, as long as there are plus 10 or minus 10 of the same number of the flock they had when they started the day. They don't care.
Plus or like, minus? Where do they plus 10 from? What is this? That's somebody's goat.
Exactly. There's shepherds all around. The island I'm from is not a big island, but it's a big enough island to where stuff can get lost and stuff goes around. So it's like, they don't care if some of the goats went to the other flock. They don't care if somebody stole the goats. They don't care if they picked up some more wild goats that just happened to join the herd, and the sheepdogs got confused, whatever it is. They'll pick up what they got. They'll go in their cabins with, their probably illegal shotguns and copious amounts of drugs, and they will just hang out and walk around with their goats all day, and they make their money and they don't care. That is the nature of these people.
Okay.
You barely ever see them either, because they'll come down and they'll get groceries or whatever, and maybe they got like a kid that they have in school or whatever. But they like sitting up in there. They literally sit in like Brazilian style like favela shacks that they pretty much made by hand themselves, and they just like being alone. That's their deal.
Okay.
A lot of them are actually part of very, very particular like paleo political organizations that they somehow attach to. Whether they be like deep left communist shepherds, or they're a part of like ethnic preservation groups, stuff like that. There's a whole bunch of them. Dude, the place is like a cartoon. The whole place is just like a cartoon.
Oh.
Did we win? Did we do it?
Oh, I see. Yes, we've activated the nuke train. Let's get that warhead off to business.
I kind of want to see this.
Oh.
I love seeing nukes in video games.
Hey, here we go. Oh, it's just going to take the whole hive. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Throne. I felt that in my bones.
Damn.
So much for that city of a few billion. Yeah.
Mission successful to us.
What, that whole thing in the background just got obliterated?
That is a hive city, right? Are you familiar with the concept of an arcology, rather?
Yes.
Okay, so Warhammer 40K, in any of the developed worlds that are kind of like up to snuff technologically, they tend to, if you have a city and it's a successful city and it continues to be a successful city for 10,000, 15,000 years, well, you tend to build it up into this, they call them a hive city. It's an arcology, or sometimes a collection of arcologies, where, you've got 8-9 billion people in one city, because it just kept growing over time, you know. And the problem is that once the enemy is inside the gates, you don't really get them out ever, because of course it's an incredible maze, and you're just not gonna get them out of there. That's probably just not gonna happen. And so, at some point, especially with the Tyranids, the Tyranids are they call them bugs, and it's an infestation. It's a very rapidly adapting alien race that feeds on just about anything. If it's alive, they can eat it. If it was ever alive, they can eat that too. Level up. What do we got here? Magazine capacity.
It's here in the chat. Greeks love living anywhere but Greece. Okay, weird flex. Well, look, if the past 20 years have not communicated anything to the if it's communicated anything to the economic world, is we as kind of a Masonic crypto democracy have not bode well under the semi new world order of economics, and we got to go make money somewhere. So that's just kind of the nature of it.
Well,
yeah. So we got to go other places. I mean, at this point, over the course of the past 80 years, 3 of the 5 biggest bridge painting companies in the United States, like industrial bridge painting, are all owned by Greeks that I'm related to. And,
okay.
And because dude, it's just like it never ends. And my grandfather, the way he made a lot of his money, was because he opened up an industrial oil tank painting business. So because you don't think about it a lot, but big bridges, big oil tanks, water tanks, there's a lot of repainting them. You got to do.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's JLGs, it's pressure washers, it's sand blasters, it's and the idea, and it's kind of become a cultural thing where Greeks either own the bridge painting companies or they go on to do something else. Like my dad, did really well in a different field, but one of the kind of derogatory things that like Greeks tell each other is like, oh, go hang off the side of a bridge, and that means like, well, you couldn't make it through college. You couldn't make it through college. You weren't smart enough. You couldn't figure out your way through business another way. So now you're gonna go work for another Greek, and that's like an insult that they use.
Gotcha.
And So in Australia, it's just as big in Australia, where they have a lot of cleaning businesses, the Greeks.
Okay.
In Germany, a lot of them work in tech, and we just kind of there are at least twice as many Greeks living outside of Greece than inside of Greece, and all
Jesus.
the Greeks living outside of Greece have summer homes in Greece where they go back to, and they just spend all the money they made everywhere else. We are fundamentally now, it sounds like a leech society, and in many ways it is, but it pays to where you have all of the statue FYP posters on Twitter and Instagram being like, oh look at the beautiful, strong, intelligent Greek, the cornerstone of Western civilization. It's like, yeah, that's great, man. Okay, yeah, now shuffle that contract over to me, yeah, buddy.
Well, I'm of the cultures that could be doing that. I suppose that one bothers me less than many others.
You'll take us over some of the alternatives. I am
for sure. I'll trade. We'll trade. We'll make trades immediately. I won't even slow down to think about it. We can. Come on. Tax remittances 300% generally, but I guess Greeks, y'all can. You just have to carry it, whatever it is. You got to carry it back and forth. That's all.
Yeah, and it's like, well, dude, if you go on my podcast, and I haven't released a video in 6 months, but I was talking to this really smart priest, Father Emmanuel Lemelson, and it's interesting. Because, on my podcast, I just talk to all these different priests. And some of them are just I went to college, I fell in love with Christ and the priesthood. I got married, I had my kids, now I have this parish, and I have, these, little anecdotal things about my life that are interesting. This priest, what he did, he was one of the first people to figure out how to drop ship Chinese-made products into the United States.
Oh, so it's his fucking fault, is what you're telling me.
It is.
God
By the time he was 21 or 22 years old, he had $30 million, and he was in college to be a priest at the same time. And I was like, dude, and you would expect that this is this guy is Soros evil money kind of guy. Dude, he could not be more polite, and he gives kick-ass spiritual advice. And I was like, good for you. You figured it,
Yeah. Okay, so this one we've got an ultra boss.
You know what I mean?
This mission is an ultra boss mission. This is the Hierophant mission, if you don't remember.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, we can handle this. We'll be all right.
Yeah. So, the thing. All right. There's a lot of commerce stuff that people really get angry with that they treat like it's inherently evil, and it's not. Drop shipping is really annoying to a lot of folks because people do it very predatorily, but the simple idea of being like, oh, I'm just gonna set stuff up with the factory myself, and I'm just gonna arrange for it to get here, because they're not gonna do that, and you as the customer are not gonna go to the factory to figure out what the fuck. So no, I'll handle that, and then you don't need brick and mortar and blah 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 blah, and that's all very efficient and lovely, and I that's fine. But the problem is that very often people are drop shipping things that they have absolutely no fucking idea what it actually is, and it's a shitty knockoff. Dude, I spent 4 hours this morning physically wrestling a piece of equipment that was a knockoff Chinese version of a product.
Oh, Lord.
That and it's all steel,
It's the quality control gamble that's the problem.
Yeah. This is one of these kind of things that's not my job at all, that I ended up having to do anyway because I'm the only one who could rub the brain cells together to do it. But I'm remanufacturing this fucking equipment, right? Is what I'm doing. I am correcting the Chinese mistakes. I've got the calipers out. I'm doing the thing, and I'm freehanding this, you know, like I should not be able to freehand machinery and get better quality than what I've got here. But that's what was happening, you know.
Chinese logistics, Indian manufacturing, all making its way into your hands and making it your problem.
It's crazy. It's crazy, yeah. You know, and if not for that, let's see, who is it that said so? Yeah, it's Haunt said the problem isn't the drop shipping. The problem is China. China is the problem in this situation. We could have glorious American manufacturing, and we move that manufacturing around to every consumer, You know, like, even as much as people are like, oh my God, Jeffrey Bezos, evil. No, he's not evil. He just fucking nailed it. That's all. Like,
yeah, like, you know, an example of this is like, you know, I'm setting up I'm not going to divulge too many details on, but it's like
sure.
I'm setting up a company for my parents, and it's this invention that they came up with that is going to help a lot of particularly vulnerable people who need something like this as opposed to the old system of doing it. And you know, I you know, even though I went to college for marketing, the thing that I am really in love with as a professional is logistics. This is something that I've always been good at, and I like kind of dollhousing my way around doing stuff like this. So, you know, but you know, and you know, they were asking me, well, what do we do? It's like, so what you do is you get it produced, you get it shipped to a particular place, that place stores it, and you call them and tell them, hey, store this thing, and then you call another guy and say, hey, you know, if you're going to be the guy doing distribution, if this is going to be the company, you call them, pick it up from the first place I called, and the second guy I called ships it out to whoever it needs shipped out to. I'm not going to look at somebody in their British bowler hat who is driving around in their sedan, dropping stuff off, and be like, oh man, you're so wholesome, Chungus, good person, because you're doing this analog. I'm gonna be like, no, you're a dumbass.
Yeah, why are you doing this the wrong way?
This is just the way of the world. And it's like, you know, obviously don't be like predatory and advantageous to people making their lives harder by the shit you're selling and pretty much chipping people out of their money, but like it's like anything else. It's a system. It's not good or bad. It's just who you are in interaction with it. You know what I mean?
It's a technology is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's silly it is absurd, and probably it is probably more evil to not use a technology except as a luxury, right? Like,
yeah,
I would
don't be a Luddite to the effect of making the world worse, really. Like,
exactly. I would the idea of the local spaces where, like, can you even have your favorite bar anymore? Could I have my favorite restaurant? Is that a thing that I can get? And it would be an awful lot easier to have that. It's almost like the public transportation question, where the reason public transportation cannot work in America is who is on it. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't want to be locked in a box with that. That's dangerous. It's a bad idea. I'm putting myself at risk to get to, I don't know, the show, whatever the fuck. So.
Oh, dude, you should have seen what it was like in France. Oh God, it's even scarier over there. Dude.
I don't know. I've been told who's in Paris. There was a whole song about it. I have no need. You shan't be finding me in Paris. You know, I will not be there. You could look. You won't find me.
We did this. Me and my family did this really fun thing. We were going through, you know, because it's always like this logistical nightmare going through Europe, like traveling back from Greece, and it was this thing like we had like a 1-day layover in Paris, and you know, my family was like, well, you know, we should try to do all of Paris in a day, and I was like, well, that sounds awesome. And you know, we went to the Eiffel Tower, we went to the Galleria. I forced all of them to go to the Louvre because I'm like the art nut in my family, and I was like, listen, you guys got to see that. I went in there, I started crying. I was like, oh my God, like this is peak civilization talk. I was like, there's no way.
Well, it sure was.
Cool. Yeah,
you know,
I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And you know, I kept looking at all the Greek statuary they had in there. I was like, yeah. So when am I getting that back? I was like, fuckers. Anyway.
It's a terrible shame. Oh, there's a lictor.
Yeah.
It's a terrible shame that the idea of like, oh, let's visit Europe, that I knew of as a child, like this would be a fancy thing, right?
Yeah.
And that is just not the case. And so this is robbed from me in my success, that I did not have the opportunity. I've jumped classes like 5 times in my life, from like just being really shamefully poor to not that, right? But you know, a lot of the poor kid dreams that I had. You know, one day, oh my goodness, this and this. Here, these. Well, I'll go to Disneyland. Wow, I'll be able to make it there somehow, and like, no, that shit's just gone. There is the Disneyland I imagine does not exist anymore.
I'm gonna do 2 things for you right now. I'm gonna do 2 things for you. I'm gonna point out an observation, and then I'm gonna promise you something. I'm gonna do you a favor.
All right.
So the observation here is that if you can navigate global society well enough, you'll notice that the places that preserve the best parts of humanity are usually the places that are widely ignored. And there's like a whole epistemic conversation about like, well, you know, is it the idea of the metropolis that's evil, or is it something that a metropolis can fall into as a short falling of the people running it? And that's like a conversation. But you know, I'll put it to you this way. You know, if you go to some place like Athens or Thessaloniki, what you'll find is some place like New York, for whatever it is.
Okay.
If you go to places like Santorini or Mykonos, these are islands that have been shared all over Instagram, and American rappers build their houses there and their tourist destinations for whatever that is. But when you go to a place like where I live, I am a part of a small island in the Aegean that is largely ignored by anybody who is not Greek. And when all those other places have to deal with the migrant crisis or economic downturn or crime or whatever it is, you know, they have to deal with all of the political mumbo jumbo and the PR and regulation. I'll put it to you this way, and I'm not saying that I've ever participated in this or support or condone it. When the migrant boats start showing up on the shores of where I live, the local militia just starts shooting the boats until we turn around. And we're allowed to do that because nobody remembers we existed to get us in trouble in the first place.
Right. Well, and you know what? Isn't that funny? Isn't that just... every corner of that story is exactly what it should be. I like that. Because, yes, when the boats of invaders appear on your shores, what you're supposed to do is chase them away through whatever means you have available.
Now, the point is, though, like, you know, you understand if something like that ever happened to Ellis Island, you know, it would go from a largely ignored thing that's happening in the small part of the world that nobody cares about to a large-scale humanitarian crisis that the WEF is sure to comment on.
Yes, of course, of course.
And the extensionary conclusion of this argument is, well, you know, oh, well, America's a terrible place. Well, here's the thing. There are beautiful little communities filled with kind, people in Omaha, in Nebraska, in Idaho, in Montana. And I think that's why places like Texas, once people kind of figured out what California was turning into, why it became like a mass exodus location.
Right.
My promise to you is that, and I consider us friends, whenever you are feeling ready with you and your wife, I will put you together a very precise and specific European travel guide for you two to actually enjoy yourselves without having to look over your shoulder. And there is a way to do it. It's just you need to know people who know the place. That's the only kind of problem.
Right. I would assume so. And you know, I know a couple little tiny holes in the world to retire to, essentially. You know.
Right.
But until that's the actual thing to do, there is nowhere to be where you can simultaneously fight for the future and then also sleep safely at night. That's not a thing.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's to say it out loud. Like, this is a thing that has always bothered me, but then like saying it out loud is sort of a self-solving problem because, well, of course not. That would be stupid. You can't. There is nowhere on Earth that can be fought for that is also comfortable to be in. You know.
Yes. Well,
So-
again, I mean, like, I live in, I guess, relatively one of the prettier places in the world that we have Turkish fighter jets flying over constantly, and we gotta do something about that. But, and that places us right in the middle of this large conversations about, like, I'm not going to say the funny two-letter word. I'm going to say global Hebrew.
Yeah, sure.
Global Hebrew. And because the Jews like Greeks, and like it's like, okay, well the Muslims
Do
are right
they?
on our doorstep. And,
I don't know.
well, what do we mean by like? And what
Exactly.
do we mean by Greeks? And what do we mean by real? It's so
Yep.
it turns into like a Jordan Peterson level thing.
Well,
Anyway.
very quick. Yeah, it is important to really hammer down exactly what the fuck you mean anytime any of these people come up,
Consoles are active. Open
because
the door.
I don't know. What do I mean, actually?
Right,
I had someone actually, our resident great question guy in chat, Ben. Ben actually stopped me in the middle. I was specifically preaching the virtues of hate the other day.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you the first rule of being Greek is? Hate thy neighbor.
You're right. But I was doing that, and he was like, all right, no, stop, though. Tell me exactly what you mean by hate. And to me, it was a given, and that was why it was a good question,
Right.
to then try and make sure that the words that I was putting together for it were actually what's up,
Right.
But the opposite of that is, you have all these people who really, so and so is a great friend. Well,
Right.
are they? Are you friendly, or is it more like that you've both agreed to behave in a friendly manner towards one another until you find an appropriately sized stick? I had said on Twitter the other day, why does anybody pretend that diplomacy is anything other than a stalling tactic? Because to me, that's what it's always.
Tactic and just theatrical politeness. It
Yeah.
means nothing on the global scale.
Well, but so theatrical politeness can be its own, in the same way that like dressing up good can be its own thing. Like, I understand.
It's useful in its own capacity. Yeah.
Yeah, well, if I'm in somebody else's house, it is like, no, it is appropriate for me to be overly polite. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no leg to. You've got me. I've got no leg to stand on. Yes, I'm gonna shuck and jive, and I'm gonna do the whole show, because
Right.
you've got me dead to rights, and it would be additionally rude for me to pretend that you don't.
Right.
So sure, yeah, I'll do it. Oop, I got turned around. Damn. All right, coming back around again. But or did I? Yeah, no, it's this way. Okay.
And this has been one of, like, for me, the political complication of the world is at a level that rivaled what we hear about with the Cold War. Because I mean,
Oh, yeah.
as Americans, you have to contend with a couple things. Muslims hate you
Sure.
on a cultural and religious level, to the point where the book they think came down from heaven tells them to hate you for whatever you are. And and as far as the Jews are concerned, it's like, we're on publicly traded company platforms.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to encourage everybody to go read whatever translated version of the Talmud which you can find, which is not very widely translated. Anyway, so you have this idea of like, well, like kind of what we were talking about with Chaos Gods. It's like, you have these things that hate you but also hate each other, and
Right.
then you also have to contend with the domestic issues of your own state. Such as, you know, horrific housing crisis, lack of social cohesion, gender socialization breaking down to a level where the orders of the old world and how people interacted with each other as friends, as parents, as spouses, as sexual partners have all degraded into something new.
It's a mess.
Strange.
Yeah, well, that nobody knows that. Well, but you know what though? I don't think it's new. I think we designed these systems to deal with the state of humanity that is these questions, right?
Sure.
You know, the thing about, well, if it's illegal for a woman to have an abortion, it should be illegal for the man to leave her with the baby. And it's like, yeah, we said that.
Right.
It's called marriage. There's rules about this. You know,
here's the thing. I know what you are, and you know what I am, and I don't have to say either of it. But what, you know, and in saying that, what I mean by this is that, you know, we can rag on all day long about, oh well, you know, the lib shits.
Yeah.
Oh well, you know, the traitors to America like Tucker Carlson or like you know, any of the former right shilling for Muslims, or any of the neocon rhino boomers who are still, you know, for Israel. It's like, yes, they're all wrong, but we have to premise what we're saying here with two fundamental truths. 80%, what was it? It was some unbelievable number. Was it like 70% of America can't read beyond like a 6th grade level?
Oh, yeah. Well, my response to that was very obvious.
Well, sure, but like, you know,
big ass monster. Look at that motherfucker right there.
Oh jeez. But like, you know, and I'm not even just saying that. Like, I hate to rag on Americans because I think Americans need a lot of positive cultural encouragement because they are the greatest country to ever exist and they are the continuation of the Roman Empire. And if anybody tells you otherwise, they're not worth talking to. But the idea is like, you know, even Europeans, it's like, you know, we just came off of what could be dubbed the century of communism, and you know, the culture is trying to, well, we're still in it, but
yeah, come on.
Right, but and you know, even the fact that I had to say that though, it's like, you know, we're in this moment where it's the practitioners of the old world and what is supposed to be seen as the liberal egalitarian future that preaches positivity for all are contending with each other to try to figure out, well, you know, maybe can I kill you fast enough before your ideas spread along, or how can we create a Hegelian synthesis between what we're saying here? Whichever one comes first. I assume a lot of people are gonna die, but you know.
Right.
So anyway, the point here is that we can understand that most people are just dumb. And in an age where everybody is nigh, what's the right word here? Nigh obligated because of entertainment media, social media, the information sharing culture that we found ourselves in. We are now in a position where democracy has found its intersection with epistemology. And that's really not good. And I don't like democracy because, okay, so everybody agrees that most people are stupid, and you're leaving the decisions up to most people. What do you think is going to happen here?
Right.
Like,
right.
You know what I mean? So, and that's now reached into the realm of ideas. Oh yeah, it's going to take very brave, very smart, very cunning, and very willing people to get us out of the mess that most people think they're not causing, even though they are. It's it's scary. It's real scary.
I don't think that most of the people who are getting this wrong are doing it evilly. Where's this fucking gun that we're supposed to be
and that's
driving?
another thing. You would like to hope that so much of this comes from a place of sincerity, but half of everybody we just talked about, the idea of the thought leader, it makes me want to throw up in my mouth. But but like the idea that like half of the people that we're kind of alluding to here are even doing this out of sincerity, there is now money for having not good opinions but popular opinions.
Yeah.
So now they've just seen this as a cash cow, obviously, and it's like,
right.
like, I don't blame somebody. I don't consider myself dumb, but I don't consider myself particularly smart either. If I'm in this position, like, who am I to look at somebody else and be like, I don't know what to. I don't know what to do. I don't. This, like, the past 5 to 10 years have been the most complicated political and social situation that I ever think has existed on the face of the earth. Ever.
You know, but maybe, okay. I have an idea that it's not. I have an idea that, like, this is the eternal struggle type stuff. I feel like it seems to me that we have a lot of tradition.
This is an archetypal manifestation of something that may have happened before?
No, not before. Always. That this is what humans do. Now, this particular wave of it has been allowed to become, like, especially large, right?
Right.
It's been allowed to get sillier and sillier. But
Okay.
Oh, I see. Okay, here we go. It's been allowed to become additionally ridiculous. But I think this is just what always happens. I think that the second that Moses went up the mountain, right after that, boy oh boy, they started worshiping that golden calf, like, fucking immediately. And so the idea is that, like, no, you have to have eternal vigilance with your tradition and your culture, and if you fail to do that, you get this.
Yeah.
This is just what they're gonna do at every opportunity.
You don't leave the monkeys unobserved. You just can't.
You can't. They're going to do this. Whoops. Well, I shot him with the big kaboom, so he was a little upset.
Yeah, he's not happy.
So, but yeah, oh no. Move. Oh no. And so, in the way that, like, the Chaos God archetypes are eternal things, right? Where, Korn, the god of blood, you've heard the blood for the blood god bullshit at some point or another, right? Well, see, Korn is not just the god of murder, he's also the god of honorable combat. He's also the god of, warriors and war and all these kind of things. Even a just war spills blood, all this kind of stuff. So I think that the idea of that there are persistent and eternal enemies of humanity that will always crop up. That if you lose your vigilance, they are there waiting for you to fuck up. They are waiting for you to fuck up, and that's the cost. That's the cost of you retiring early.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that scares me a little bit is I think that there's a part of me. Maybe we're not exactly there yet, but I think we are kind of at somewhere around the terminal velocity of human comfort where we're at right now. I think that there is a lot of big talk, and I think there's a lot of big talk happening by kind of the technocrat elite about, oh well, now nobody's gonna need to work anymore, and now it's gonna, dude, listen, the thing about the Faustian spirit is that Mephistopheles will get your ass eventually.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So, I sit here relatively comfortable, kind of imagining a position where humanity gets any better than this on a human comfort level. And that's even people who have less than some people you may know, and also have a little bit more, because after that it's just like it's splurging after a certain point, after a very low point from how we understand it. And I can't, like, in our very delicate system that hasn't somehow unraveled yet, I don't see. It's not a question of how do things get better, it's about when do they go back to being worse.
Yeah. I disagree. I do think that
You think we have more room left until we hit the ceiling? I'm not.
No. So this is it. What I think is that the end is always near, and we are always saved. So I think that what actually happens, is that, sure, we will continue to build technologies and come up with new ideas, and we will innovate. We will innovate however we're going to make our lives more comfortable. We will always do that.
Right.
But the thing is, the actual comfort is not going to be found in the material world.
Oh, of course. No, obviously. Right. I just mean, like, assuming that this is it is what I'm saying. Because most people believe that.
Well, I think that's why it's an eternal struggle, right? Because, you can look outside and you can not realize how good things are. Like when somebody, God damn, there was someone screaming about someone that I like, some streamer I was watching the other day, and there's someone who was raised badly in the church somewhere, right? And so they're just like, well, it just doesn't seem like there's proof of it. And it's like, well, it's if you open your eyes at all ever, if you've ever looked outside for a second, this is all very miraculous, right?
Right.
You are walking inside a miracle all the time, and it's fucking ridiculous that you don't feel that way. But you don't, right? Like, I understand that somebody does not unless they bother to really stop and look, So the idea of the pursuit of evidence for it is just, it's obscene, actually. Like, you are awash in evidence. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
You may as well.
The Lord reveals himself to the humble. I'll put it that way. That's been pretty consistently true.
Yeah. Well, but I think that's that has more to do with the system of being humble than like the preference of the Lord. I'm sure it would make sense for the Lord to be like, how much more fucking revealed do you want me to be, dude? Have you ever looked around?
Yeah. I mean, he became one of us to the point where he was like, yeah, I'll show you how much I want you to be involved.
Right. So, I think that we will continue to improve our material comfort, but in so doing, I believe we will never reach an escape velocity for how we feel about that. I think that
we're always going to be chasing a catharsis that doesn't exist through the matters in which we're trying to reach it.
Yeah. We are living in this material world, and it's not like a crazy unreasonable thing to think that there should be something to that, or that it we know better than to say, hell yeah, got his ass. We know better than to say, like, this is the end-all, be-all, because anybody who's ever reached, the pinnacles of the material world will immediately tell you, oh no, it's empty, They'll get there, they'll strive to be there, they'll build things that no one else has ever built, they'll achieve things no one else has ever achieved, and they'll be emperors on Earth, and then look around and go, oh no.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I don't think that feeling is a thing that's meant to be conquered materially, but I don't think we're anywhere near. Each one of these advancements will be turned on us and used to trick us into thinking that this is as good as it gets. They
already kind of have been. Look what happened with the I'll say this much. Also, by the way, is it okay if that's our last mission? We could talk for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. You got somewhere to be.
So it's funny because, like, when I talk to my dad, and my dad's smart, he is.
Sure.
But he's one of those guys that's like, he is in his late 50s, and he grew up kind of always relatively conservative, and me and him talk, and it's like, well, Tucker said this, or like, who's that? Or Ian Carroll said this, or whatever. I know.
The fucking mustache, patooey on Ian Carroll.
And like he like he'll look at Fuentes, he'll look at like Cenk Uygur after he like
his fake heel turn the other day.
Yeah, I know. So and when I revealed to him kind of the stuff that people on the ground are saying, like, well, Tucker said this about Islam, Ian Carroll is kind of looked at like a joke between this. This is what Cenk has always been, and more specifically his nephew, which I think our mutual friend is going to get a hold of one way or another. But but the idea. So, but the idea here is like like I have to look at all these guys, and even talking to him, I sit there and I'm like, damn, there's nobody that's there for us. There's nobody that's there for normal people. And at the end of the day, I have to look. It's like, dude, it's just kind of Sam Hyde. Like that's the closest thing I could think of.
Yeah.
And he said something. I watched one of his episodes a couple days ago, and he was kind of reiterating on the point of like the boomer epistemological problem where these people, if we want to talk about technology turning on a population, it's the television where these people are having a consistent information drip, not necessarily evil within not essentially evil within the technology itself, but you have these news channels that put them into a echo chamber of self-confirmation, telling them you were the greatest generation, you were the best,
right.
You were the hardest workers. Look at how much you accomplished, and now look at your kids. Look how lazy they are. They can't buy a house even though yours was 50,000 and theirs is 500. They're so lazy they want to sit on those damn phones all day, even though you were able to find a job with a firm handshake and a bow tie, and they have to utilize AI machines to do 750 applications every single day and pay for it to try to get a single So there is a generational divide on opinion, and a generational divide. I would also say this. I think the position that Gen Z, the difference between Gen Z and late millennials versus early millennials and Gen Xers and boomers is also one of the most significant generational divides in recorded history as well, aside from the ones that saw major technological jumps that reshaped society, like the invention of the printing press or stuff of that nature. You know what I mean?
I don't disagree. I think like the hypnotic power of technology of any so we have our environment is really more about people, the thing that we seem most suited to, the environment that we are the most adapt to and adapt the best in, is surrounded by humans, right? We don't do so good all the way out as we are now. We don't do so good all the way out in nature by ourselves or whatever. And the average chimpanzee would rip us to pieces. Okay, fine.
Sure.
But man, we're really, really powerfully social, and a lot of these technologies.
We're starting to learn that we need that more than we thought, because the desocialization of society is literally killing people.
It is. There's a funny thing about sanity actually requires more than one mind to do.
Yes.
If for no other reason than just error checking, right? If you thought you heard something and nobody else in the room heard it, it's very easy for you to dismiss it. But if you thought you heard something and there is no one else in the room, you have no choice but to go check. You know
what's really funny? We have this book in the Orthodox Church. It's called the Evergenetos, and this book is a collection of the wisdom of what we call the Desert Fathers. These these are a very distinct kind of monastic. These are monks who either lived originally in a monastery and then left, or went into the desert all on their own, or into the wilderness all on their own, and they said, I am going to battle the demons on my own. I am going to fight my passions. I am going to fight Satan on my own 2 feet. And the archetypes of this are primarily the prophet Elijah, who is succeeded by John the Baptist, who is succeeded by Saint Anthony the Great, and then after him there was a whole bunch of them. Saint Macarius the Great, Saint Moses the Black. You've probably heard him about him on Twitter somewhere, one way or another. Well, he's not technically a desert father. He was the abbot of a monastery, but like he was kind of associated with that era. Anyway, so and they had this beautiful wisdom. There's these amazing miracle stories of the people that went to go visit these people. Saint Mary of Egypt, a former prostitute who didn't even take money for her prostitution. The Lord barred her from being able to go into Jerusalem.
Listen,
she was,
even Jesus loves a real freak. That's
Lord have mercy. So and this woman went out into the and she was like, Lord, and the Virgin Mary appeared to her and said, you need to go out into the desert and you need to go fight your passion.
Yeah, right.
And she sat there for 60 years thinking about everything she used to do in her life, and she kept contending with it. I think she lived off of like 3 loaves of bread a year or something unbelievable. It was like, and at the end of her life, Saint Zoismas gave her communion one time. He thought she was a ghost in the desert, approached her, gave her communion, and then said, come back in a year. He came back, he gave her communion, and then she said, come back later. He found her dead, and then a lion appeared out of the wilderness, and they buried her together. It was like, her life is, but anyway, so these desert fathers, they accumulated this knowledge, and the accenting kind of thing to all this, it's like, well, that's so cool. I wonder what happens to the monks that are so holy that they go out into the desert and they fight these demons. Here's the truth. The ones they don't write about, the 90% that tried to do this, they completely lost their minds, ended their own lives, or just went back into society because they said, fuck that, I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah, it turns out I ain't built for that shit. That's good to learn,
Yeah, and it's like, look, to kind of round off everything we're talking about, the theme is that I think I want to communicate to everybody is willpower is something that needs so practice nowadays. This is what will let you survive. If you want to take that from a Greek philosophical standpoint and hear the words of Aristotle, who said to conquer yourself to become the master of all things, whether it's the life of Christ himself or the saints or any the accenting point is that you need to learn how to master. You need to be brutally violent with yourself. Christ says this. He said the kingdom of heaven is taken by violence, and the violent will take it by force. This is a overarching theme to human existence that you need to understand the depraved, like, insanity that the future might hold, that you don't know when it's coming and you don't know how bad it's going to get. The only preparation you have is to be in control of you, of your thoughts, of your emotions, of your surrounding environment, of other people when it's necessary. The idea here is that you mastery over the self, which is the thing that the world is at war against you for. Like, most people are far more sedated than they realize, whether it's through drugs, alcohol, entertainment, media, sexual expression, whatever it is. Something has you, and when you start identifying what has you and you spend your time trying to root it out, even in a modern societal context, you're going to notice how much more you feel like a human being.
Exactly.
And then when society stops existing, you might be one of the only humans left.
Exactly. Yes. The Dune, the Bene Gesserit test of humanity, right? An animal would gnaw its own arm off just to stop the pain.
Yup.
Yeah.
Don't be an animal. That's the whole theme. Antagonist, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
This was
such a good time. I always have a good time doing this.
Very good. I also have excellent time.
Yeah, this is a blast. I think okay, you got my links there. Listen, if you guys want to find my stuff, or the Ortho Chat on Twitter, stplaunch.org, theorthochat.org, global-orthodoxy.com. Go buy some clothes. Go listen to a podcast. Go sign up and donate me money. So I will. Oh, and that's another thing. When the Kickstarter comes out, for whoever's listening, when you donate me money, you're getting a book on discount. So you know, I'm not just asking you to shovel cash over to me. You know, Greeks are good at one thing. We are horrifically impolite when we want money, but we will never steal. We're not thieves.
Oh, okay.
We're irritating, but we're not thieves.
Irritating, but not thieves. Okay.
Yeah, we leave the thievery for the Italians. Anyway, everybody who's listening to this, blessed feast day of St. George the Dragon Slayer, because today's the day of his commemoration. Universally, it's one of the few universal days in Christendom where the Catholics and the Orthodox and the Protestants all commemorate St. George today. So go slay your dragons. God bless all of you, Mr. Antagonist. We will do this next week, my brother.
Absolutely.
All right. God
Travel
bless all
safe.
of you. Later.
Be safe.
Thank you,
we'll
brother.
See you next
time.
time.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you on the other side of the Atlantic.
Yes, sir. Boys. Did y'all have a good time? Did y'all have a good time with Ortho Chat? He's not still listening. Men, gentlemen. Very good, very good. I didn't know it was Dragon Slaying Day. If I had known that, I would have tried to work that in a little bit more. You know? Phenomenal time. Is stream gonna end now? Well, let's see here. What time is it? How about... Okay, who's got the game? Who's got the game? Haunt fucking says it's early. Yeah. All right. Let me see what's the next mission. Because I looked... That son of a bitch, he was leveling up without me. So I'm behind! What's the next mission? Classified. Motherfucker. What kind of classified? What are we gonna do here? All right, well, tell you what. No, you know what we're gonna do? Here's what we're gonna do. All right, whoever's got the fucking game, here's the code. Come on. We'll do one. First come, first serve. Get the fuck in here. We'll do mission number 1. Quick and easy. We'll burn it down. No. I got heavy on lockdown, sir. You can't have heavy. You can't have it. Ooh, a tactical mission 2 is actually faster. All right, fine. We'll throw mission 2 out there. I am eminently familiar with mission number 1. Like that's what I was grinding on the first time, because there was only when I was playing this, there was only 3 fucking missions. I think maybe 6. I know the Hierophant mission didn't exist yet when I was really grinding this. 156 hours, mostly in tactical. Well, get your ass in here. Let's go. We'll do mission 2. We'll burn it down real quick. One for the boys. What the hell have I done here? Oh, yeah, okay. What the fuck? You don't have to be on the friends list to use the invite code, right? You just hit the button. Don't you? Yeah, it must be, because it's crossplay. So Ortho doesn't even have the friends list. Console player. Well, good. I'm good. L3, I'm glad. What do you mean, get in chat? All right. Hang on here. Get in the chat. The hell? Well, I don't see you in chat neither. Now what? Well, Ben, you know, one thing at a time. We'll have plenty. Don't you worry. So this one is weird because it was a Thursday, but generally he and I are going to be doing this on every Saturday. Every Saturday. So we'll have plenty of opportunity. Haunt, why are you not here? I saw that you booted up the game. What are you doing? And you're not in the voice chat. I bet his computer blew up. Must be. All right, so mission 2 is the faster one. Yeah, I guess it is. Okay. Oh, that's true. He's got to deal with that fucking spider. Spider cucked his computer. Let dab. There he is. All right, good. Let's go. Now, find out who's top spider. Hell yeah. Oh, Ladibel. 3 prestige, level 25. In chat now. Okay, here we go. There he is.
Attention.
Penis.
Hello with the pestness.
My God, what's the closest fucking class to heavy?
I don't know. I guess maybe the Tech Marine is. Because at least with the Tech Marine, you're setting up those turrets. And he seems like kind of a stompy boy. But I haven't played him.
I played him a little bit. Is that one a new one? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, it's a newer one. All right, let's go kill a Hive Tyrant, shall we?
Well, I don't know. Maybe we should ask him some questions.
No, I don't think we will. I think we're going to we will not tolerate the alien. That's not happening. This is not an alien tolerating house. Oh my goodness. Run in. We're gonna fuck him up.
And then we're gonna fuck him. Oh, wait. What? Sorry, wrong stream.
Oh, fucking Ben. Fact, 100% of aliens are killed just before they'd be reformed. Scotty says the new ICE uniforms look wild. brother, if we were actually dripping like this, the job would be done. This level of drip, that shit's handled. The Spider-Usi. No. No, we shan't
I'm not
be.
gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
You can keep Arachne out of here. We don't want it.
Assist in the defense of the bridge until you confirm that the Xenos Overlord has entered the kill zone. Then trigger the
Yes,
detonation.
exactly. Slaughter the Xenos.
Yes, Captain. Consider the Synapse leader eliminated.
You can't spell slaughter without laughter.
It's true. Besides, it's not like...
God, I remember this.
Yeah. We'll just speed run behind our tack guy. He's got it.
I crouch. I swear there was a way I could crouch. I gotta teabag him.
I don't think you can. I think they specifically de-teabagged to this game, sadly.
Wow. Wow. They just took the balls right out of it.
Oh, yeah. I think, you know, somewhere along the line, God, I remember the first time that I encountered the concept of a toxic gamer, and I was like, you mean the guy who wins? Like, is that what you're saying? Like, you're just mad that the dude wins? And it was somebody complaining about, thank you, about, like, the teabagging or any other victory celebration, you know? It's just like, what? Like, you want there to be no celebration of victory? Is that for everything or just like this thing? And I think it was everything in the end, you know?
You know, maybe they just didn't like the balls in their mouth.
Right. Well, that's just it. You know, maybe win more and then you don't have to worry about it.
Get good.
Get good does handle most things that you could ever have to worry about. All right. By the way, do y'all hear my audio cutting out from the game? Has the audio been stuttering from the game this whole time? Like on stream? No. I don't mean since I started this mission. I meant tonight, generally speaking.
I have never noticed it cutting out.
Okay. In my monitoring, it does. Like, very badly. It cuts out sometimes, like, for up to 2 seconds. And it seems like there's, like...
No, that's definitely never happened.
Okay, good. Because, you know, after I spent all that on the capture card the other day, I bought the fancy Elgato. Because I was tired of the Chinesium, ridiculous Chinesium
you swapped
HDMI.
Chinesium for Mexicanium.
Well, there's not a better HDMI. See, here's the thing, is that they have...
Is it just busting your balls?
Yeah. They have... This is a thing that actually really kind of pissed me off when I was trying to find out about it, because there's a bunch of them that seem like... Oh, yeah, this just turns your HDMI into USB-C, and then you can plug it into your computer, and it's fine, and it's great for when you want to put your Xbox on your PC, you know? And it's like, okay,
Fuck, would you want to... Who would own an Xbox in current year?
Right, exactly. PlayStation, whatever. But there's, you know, it's like a PlayStation, but there's games on it, you know?
There aren't any games on PlayStation. What are you talking about?
Exactly. So, and those were like, you know, $80 or whatever. And then, but I wanted a real component part, you know? And so that, okay, well, that's PCIe parts then. And,
yes, agreed.
I had only found, come on, Hunt. Come on. Run
did you
for
guys,
it.
Man, I take 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Checking the stream
Run,
so I can
boy.
get an audio.
I appreciate that.
Fuck. I need to go down.
Yeah.
Somewhere. No, wait.
Come on. What? I can't circle back to you. You gotta. There's a one-way drop off. Yeah.
If I can find it.
Yeah. You see our party markers, I'm sure.
I need the backspace right now.
No, that doesn't work.
I wish you did. Oh, there it is. It's right here. I see it. I see it.
Hell yeah.
Coming toward the cathedral.
Good.
God. Yeah, I alt-tab for a second, and it's like everybody loses their minds.
Mm-hmm. Everybody loses their minds. Oh, here we go. All right, yeah. Give me, yeah, I'll give it a for the Emperor.
Wait, what's the button for that?
Whoa. Are you on a controller or are you on keyboard?
Yeah, I'm on keyboard and mouse. I probably should get out a controller.
It's a controller game, you know.
Yeah, you know, that's probably one of the reasons why I dislike it.
Really?
I like Darktide. It's so much like smoother.
Is it?
The combat, like I can just lock in.
Well,
with this
okay.
game,
So Darktide's on the list. It's just that I wanted to hit the Emperor of Mankind bit with Ortho a little more before we get into the regular blessed humans.
I mean, I do love the Emperor of Mankind.
Exactly, as do I.
Unironically, like he's the best.
Of course.
And if anybody says otherwise, I will personally kill them.
I put a quote up on Twitter this morning. The Inquisitor quote that, you know, people would, you know, ask how do I dare to you know, kill a world of 10 billion people, and those who understand know that I have no right to let them live. The idea that there are infinite and persistent enemies of mankind, the struggle that I was talking about earlier with Ortho Chat. Just that if you ever relax, this is what will come to you. You know, this is what will come after you. And once it's got a hold of a culture, what else could I do? You know, you actually can't deprogram all those people, but you can't let them keep doing this to themselves. And what the actually right thing to do is definitely not allowed to be described in detail on any of these platforms. But I like the idea of blessing someone in the flame. That's the best way that I've ever thought to say it, because it is what I mean. It's not a euphemism. It's not snark. I do believe that, like, at some point, their trials have to reach a fever pitch. You know, they have to be saved. Oh, ready to blow.
One way or the other.
One way or another, they must be
I liked
saved.
that post, but I wish I could have super liked it.
Well, thank you, sir. Super like. You know what? So now I did, by the way, you may have noticed there are now, you were able to hit that Prime sub on Twitch. Fucking,
Been itching to do that.
I know. So I finally got the Twitch monetization done, right? So now the only unmonetizable thing that I've got is the YouTube, and I actually went to go check like what the requirements are for YouTube monetization, and they're kind of fucking insanely, like, they don't even want to talk to you with less than 500 subscribers. It's like, oh
My God.
Okay, boys. Well,
aren't they fucking uppity?
Yeah, it's like, you gotta give me a chance here. What the fuck is going on? But no, 500. I was like, all right. Well, we'll give me a little bit. Give me a little bit. Just give me a little bit. We'll get there.
Weapon schematics.
Oh yeah, we'll get there before you know it.
We're gonna make some shit happen.
By force.
Yes. One way or another.
Brother.
Nope, I didn't mean.
You
to
are
do
both injured. Yes.
Your mom's injured.
Your mom. Did I?
Oh. Nope.
Astartes! We were not expecting such illustrious company in the rear ranks.
Always gotta compliment us.
Well, they'd better. I mean, come on.
We've got a handle on these
Yeah, we could step on them.
We could.
And not in the sexual way.
Xenos Overlord is inbound.
Imagine being so
Not in
bad
the
at
way
doing your
that they
job
think
you
about
actually let a
at night.
Tyranid hurt you. It's ritual, you know. It's just a focus practice. It's fine.
Is this a withdrawal order? Negative. The objective is the Hive Tyrant, not the bridge. Defend this position until the Tyranid command unit is executed. Understood, my lord. May the Emperor guide our lasguns to your support. Ready up.
God, I'm having flashbacks right now.
Flashbacks?
They're making another push over the bridge.
Yep. Wasn't that long ago I did all of this.
Well, we got them.
You know, they kind of look, if you look at them from a zoomed out view, they're a bit like spermatids, you know? They're just coming along, flopping their tails, their little flagellum.
A little flagellum. Is it flagellum or flagellum?
Yes. It is flagellum, you're right. I'm just retarded.
That's okay.
It's
You
like,
know, who among us is not?
I was listening to an audiobook today, and one of the people said chitten, and I was like, no, that's chitin. I'm like, I'm a fucking nerd, aren't I?
Yeah. That sounds like it.
You don't really get to see flagellum, flagellum a whole lot, though.
That's true. You'd have to
Not
have a
since
very
college.
right. What kind of a
Unless
job
you have
do you
that
have?
flagellum, personally, like.
Well, if you have flagellum,
size.
you're not speaking.
Well, I mean, you could be a mutant, and you just got, I mean, it's not really a flagellum, but it might as well be. You know what I'm saying?
Or you just got a
Thankfully, I
little,
was not
wiggle
so
foot.
endowed.
Just a
That
little
would be,
wiggle foot.
Ladies don't actually like that. Once it gets past a certain length, they're like, yeah, we're not cool.
You know,
We don't want that.
no, I bet they don't.
No, they really don't. There's a lot of stuff going on up there, and if you start touching it, they're not happy at all.
They don't want anything prehensile, I think, is probably.
Definitely not. Although I have previously wished for the infinite prehensile penis so that I wouldn't have to get up in the middle of the night to go pee. I just
Yeah.
naked
you
on
just guide it
to the toilet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You could have it
Alas.
go through the house like poison gas,
Yeah.
just creeping through.
It'd be so much more convenient. It's ultimately not worth it though. Because, you scare the hose.
It's true. Nothing but trouble. Oh, I've already got a guardian relic. Hunt, come get that guardian relic. You're about to die. Koyo says, that's how you get your dick in a mousetrap.
I don't think mine would fit.
Oh.
Have you ever seen a mousetrap? Maybe a rat trap.
Oh, right. One of those, possum live catch traps, right?
It's like, oh, that tickles.
Stupid. My wife says she doesn't understand what scaring the hose means, and that's because she's my wife.
Well, of course you don't understand it. You're not a hoe.
Exactly. It's real good. It's real good.
That's a good thing.
You know? Yeah. Oh no, it's wonderful. Every now and again, because she's a younger woman who is married. Every now and again, there's a political topic that'll come up, and she'll be like, "Well, yeah, of course. Like, shouldn't it? Like, don't you just kill that when that happens? Don't you just kill those people?" It's like, no, honey, we don't. Generally speaking, we don't.
Unfathomable.
Yeah. A bazillion% based. It's wonderful. And like, I'll tell a little story. When we were first talking, she'd asked me like, "Why? Oh my God, why is America so racist? That's all I hear about is American racism." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, let's see. How should I say this?" And I was like, "Well, so, you know, where you're from, who else lives there?" And she was like, "Well, all kinds of other people." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, like who?" She was like, "Well, I mean, I guess there's like, you know, some, she's Romanian." And I was like, "Okay, well, who besides Romanians are in Romania?" And she goes, "Well, I mean, I guess there's some Turks." And I was like, "Okay, are y'all like happy with the Turks?" And she was like, "It's fine, I guess." And I was like, "Okay, well, what about the gypsies? Everybody knows about gypsies in Romania." And she says, "You asked about people."
Based.
Exactly. So, this is essentially, this is her politics. Right? This is her politics in a nutshell. And I was like, "Oh, don't worry, my love. We really do understand each other in the end. Don't you worry." That combined with the occasional "okay, yay," is really all we need.
Yes. Don't worry about it, kitten.
Yeah, the "don't worry about it" kitten rules supreme. It's very powerful. Haunt, there is stems here. Come get them.
But I don't do drugs.
Well, today you do. Koyo says, "We have black guy Romania."
You know, really, the funny thing about the United States, though, is like we're the least racist, and that's the problem.
Kind of. Like, I think.
It's like Japanese people are great examples. Like they are so.
I think Japan. Let's see. Oh, Ladiable is going off. So
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I played this.
Word. Oh, here's regular stem. Regular stem.
Medical
Regular stem.
encouraged.
Here we go. Now we assemble. Assemble. Binyam can't message on Kick anymore somehow. What the hell? What did you do?
What have you done?
My love, would you check the Kick chat and see what they've done to Ben?
They loved him but good.
I guess.
I always wonder about that when things like aren't loading right on X. I'm like, oh, did they get me again? Fuck, here we go.
Yeah, right?
Nope, I don't see anything. Nope, I didn't. Whoa, he's... Dude, his health is like... How did his health go down that fast?
Well, the tactical super lets us cause additional damage. So I think he popped his super scan.
What a gamer word!
So now we just go straight to phase 2.
Yeah, that was fast. The last time I did this boss, it was not that fast.
Right. Hell yeah. Here we go.
Ugh. Guys, could you get off my dick? Ah, damn it. No, they decided not to.
Okay, let me see if I can get you. Woo!
Wait.
Oh, well, he is entirely up my ass.
Wait, can I?
Check.
There we go.
Oh, I'm out of ammo again. Okay, 1 second. Hee hee. Hee hee. Let's get the fuck out of here.
No. You cannot have my penis.
Business. Oh.
Wow, he died like a bitch. My God, that's the fastest clear time on that boss I've ever seen.
All right, Le Diable fucking smoked him. All right, congratulations. Sure. Easy GG indeed. You're right. All right. Oh, I need to get good, fellas. I need to get good. He ripped it up. Oh, I see. No. All right. Fucking my streaming software lost connection to Kick again. That's what the problem is.
Aww.
That's why the Kick chat stopped working. It didn't stop working in my actual thingamajig. It stopped working on the stream part. Didn't you? Yeah, Auspex scan plus double-edged chain sword. It's so good. Apparently, dude. It whoops ass. All right. So that was the one. Thank you for coming out, ladies and gentlemen. Excellent time. Who was the raid that somebody was requesting?
Renegade Retro. I've known him for I don't even know at this point, but he's a cool guy. He streams fairly, like, not very often, but he's a cool guy.
But he's live right now?
He should be.
Okay.
I think he's still alive.
Is he on everything, or is he just on Twitch?
He's just on Twitch that I know of. I don't know if he's on anything else. He might just be on Twitch.
Okay. I figure, sure, we can do that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We can
cool
throw one request raid, I suppose. Which emote for the raid? Now that we can do this, hell yeah. Well, for the guys who are subbed, gosh, we can, you know what? Yes, the Proud Cube is probably the way to go. It's very sparkly.
Oh yeah.
Proud Cube emote. Hell yes. Where is the button? This is the button. Oh yeah, no, Diablo, you scored best on everything, rightfully. I am humbled. I'm gonna have to get good. There's nothing else.
I'm not even gonna bother getting good.
Oh no, you're just waiting for when it's what's it called?
Dark Tide.
Dark Tide time.
Yeah. Space Marine is just not my game. I played it with my nephew because he wanted me to play it, and playing with him is always great. But it's just, I don't know, it's just not my gameplay loop,
Right. Well, all right. So, we're gonna throw some raids here. Tomorrow we've got Star Citizen. Free Fry is over, but for anybody who happened to buy a game package, we'll be tooling around doing some fucking thing. There's been another update. We're on 4.7.2, and it's looking like so they put out a whole bunch of new missions. So we'll go around terrorizing people with that, I assume. And then, let's see. Oh, no, I'm lying. I will not be streaming tomorrow. I got to push it to, I will not be streaming tomorrow. I got to push it to Saturday. So we'll do our normal Friday stream on Saturday this week. I have recording to do tomorrow. Yes. All right. I'm going to hit that raid button. Y'all have a great one, fellas. And you'll see me on Twitch. The stream, not Twitch, Twitter for further updates. The stream is over.